Yo, what is going on, you beautiful people? Zach here. Today I am starting a brand new series. If you don't know, I just released an album called 20 on my 20th birthday. It was so much fun to make. Obviously, having a lot of time during quarantine, a lot of artists were able to create some incredible music. I was so inspired, so I thought I'd sit down and do the same. So I was able to kind of plunk out 20 songs and put them on an album that I released on January 4th. I've gotten a lot of feedback and a lot of people really enjoy it, which makes me so happy. I'm so happy I was able to connect with them with my music. For the people that are interested, my producers out there, and just my curious songwriters and musicians, I thought that I'd make a little series about how I made some of these songs. If you do like this idea, please let me know down in the comments. Smash that like button. Basically, what I want to do in this series is show what I did to make some of these songs, the ideas, the thought process, including just like little production ideas, some vocal chain stuff, and my mixing slash mastering kind of thing. The one disclaimer is that obviously I did all of this when I was 19 years old, so I'm still very new at this. Like, I didn't really start getting into production until I was maybe in maybe sophomore year of high school or something, and that was like what, 4 or 5 years ago. So there's still so much to learn, but I hope any young or beginner producers out there and songwriters, I hope that you take this advice that like you can start whenever you want. You just gotta jump right into it, and hopefully by watching these videos, I definitely think I'm at a very beginner level. I really hope that we can connect in that way, because I really want to help anyone I can who's interested in production, as well as get feedback from them. I think in a time like this, like, communicating and all that is so important. We as a community can make some really cool stuff. So without further ado, we're gonna jump into the first song. I'm probably gonna split these up into a bunch of videos, so we'll see how fast I can get those through. Anyway, so this first song is the very first song of the album. It's called 20, ironically, and the very beginning of the song literally just starts out with a music box, and what you'll notice later in the song, just let it play. If you listen closely, that's the melody of the song. Like, you'll hear it. It's like the "You're elegantly in your 20s," and you'll hear that. I released this as a trailer for the album. I don't know if anyone really picked that up after they listened to the album, if they know like, oh, that was the melody for the first song. If you haven't checked that trailer out, it's on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. It was fun to make. A little emotional, but it was fun. Anyway, basically you have this music box, and that goes, and then Valhalla Supermassive. You can see the automation kind of just taking over into this wispy, sweepy thing, and then this is that big build. Everything just grows. I just gotta let this play. Also, if you have earbuds, headphones, definitely put those on, because here comes that sub. Take it away. Oh, that gave me goosebumps when I came up with that. And I had a release virtual listening party on Zoom the day it released, and I loved watching the faces of the people, like, what is happening? That's so cool when you get to see people experience your music for the very first time. It's such a cool experience. I definitely recommend it. So anyway, this piano, yeah. If you have heard any of my older stuff, this is a very new style for me. And ironically, I came up with this piano part during a music history class. I hope my music history professor isn't watching this. I was a little bored. So I just took out the keyboard and I just kind of started messing around. I actually have the file. I can see if I can find that and put that in a video sometime, of me like playing the chords for the very first time, and I'm pretty sure I said some interesting stuff. But this just felt very different, and this also happened, ironically, this was one of the last songs I actually wrote on the album. I think it was like October 29th was the day that it all kind of came together, and it wasn't until I knew I was going to release an album, but it wasn't until I wrote this song where I came up with the concept of 20 and about being a older teenager, not knowing what's gonna happen. So it just felt like a very mysterious piano line. It's like what's the unknown. So that was super fun. We'll jump into it. So I'll quickly talk about the vocal chain. I might go over it quickly in every video, but it's very much the same in all the songs. Not at all a super special vocal chain at all, and I don't think it's like the best vocal chain at all either. It just kind of fit my voice, and that's one really important thing for producers. There's no one size fits all vocal chain. You got to work with your voice and whatever feels good to you and what sounds good to you. And this is kind of what I went with. First of all, I have the Shure SM7B. I just barely got it for this album actually, and I just like the sound of it. But once again, you can basically use almost any mic and emulate the perfect sound for your voice and the perfect sound for your mix. So keep that in mind. Besides pitch correction, I use the CLA 76 compressor. I use the Frank Ocean preset and crank this up to about 15. And then I use the Solid State Logic. I've messed around with this plugin quite a lot because especially with the SM7B, there's no proximity effect, but there's still kind of this muddy sound sometimes if you're getting closer. So the most important thing about EQing the vocal on this type of microphone is making sure that you're kind of getting rid of that little low end and giving more of a high mid presence. So I've messed around with all of this, but for now, I really like the Dave Darlington silky lead vocal. That's my go-to. After that, I just take the Fruity Parametric EQ. I drop everything basically starting around like 100 hertz and then kind of getting rid of a little bit at 155, and then it's like this smooth shelf that kind of stops right around 1.2K. That just kind of gets rid of the really like punchy, muddy low end in my voice and with the mic. And then finally, my guy Chris Wilson, who goes to college with me, he totally hit me up with this. I owe it all to him. So Chris, if you're watching this, and I'm sure you're watching this, this is all you. I thank you so much for this. Fresh Air, it's a free plugin that he showed me. It just helps with, I see, actually.
Don't close your eyes, because life will pass you by.
So, moving on from the vocals, and I will say, yeah, like I said before, that's basically the vocal chain I use for almost every single type of song that I've written on this album. Once again, super effective, but it's really up to you. But I would say that's a good starting place.
Pass you by.
So it's kind of hard to hear, but we have this soft little drone. Very subtle, but it kind of helps. And it gives it like a mystical feeling. So, the strings, let's talk about the strings. I think they sound really great, and honestly, all they are the BBC. Where are they? The BBC from Spitfire Audio. I'm pretty sure you can get it for free if you fill out a little survey. Spitfire didn't tell me to say that. I think they are so realistic sounding and so nice. And then I went in and I kind of automated the volume to make it more of a realistic kind of playing situation. So it's like the smooth crescendo and then decrescendo into it. We were going to get real strings. We were going to go record real strings right before Thanksgiving, but things got a little hectic at the end of the year, so we weren't able to. I would have probably just layered them on top of these strings because honestly, I think these have a really nice organic foundation. So it's too bad we couldn't get the real strings maybe on the next project, but honestly, I think it sounds really cool without them too. Alright, and then got that fully
looking for
ambient.
signs.
So we've got it starting, we've got that one hit kind of starting right on that left speaker.
I've been looking for
Let it play real
signs.
quick because it's going to come in on the right speaker in a sec.
Signs are so
Right there. So they're kind of going back and forth, kind of grabbing your attention over to the left, grabbing your attention over to the right. Little things like that, which I think are super cool. And then we get to this. Just this little counter melody in the strings. And the Foley is kind of happening more frequently. And then we switch to major. The song's in A minor, and then it switches to A major, and it's like the coolest thing. I've never done a mode mixture thing like that, and it was so cool. And like this was one big thing where like all my music friends, they all caught it, and they were like, so that was really fun. And the reason why I did that is because it's starting with this whole dark, mysterious minor kind of progression, and the lyrics, if you listen, is you don't have time, you don't have, and then the start of the chorus is time is just a fantasy. So like the whole message is like dark, like you're running out of time, you're running out of time. And then when you get to that major part, time is just a fantasy when you're 20, and you'll find you've been lost in yourself all this time. So it's like this whole epiphany, this big change, and I think the music follows that really well. So I don't know. Something about it gives me chills. I would, before I go on, I would totally recommend listening through this entire album. I would really appreciate it. I don't get many streams, and it would mean the world to me, and these videos would be a lot more informative to you, and I think really exciting if you're interested in this type of thing. I get it if you're not. You can find the music anywhere, on Spotify, on YouTube, everywhere. Just go check it out, search Zach Burns. You'll see this thumb. I just literally put my hands up like this. It looks so weird, but you'll see this album cover. It's my face. I'm sorry, but I hope hopefully you recognize that from watching this.
It's a fantasy.
All right, into this chorus.
20 and you'll find
That was a hard note to hit.
you've been lost in
For a tenor,
yourself
for
all
sure.
this time.
So it's just the piano. I'm trying to get to new information because I could drone on about this forever. Here we go. Pizzy strings. Pizzy strings. This is fun. Basically all this is just, right? It's this Kato strings, and then it's just a layer on top of that. And together it sounds very mysterious, and I really like that. And then back into this pre-chorus part, but we're adding a higher violin and this French horn. I think totally adds to it. I love it. And then into the final chorus. And what we did here is, why am I saying we? I did this by myself. I added a sub bass just to make the sound a little fuller. It's very subtle, but it just makes the sound a lot bigger. Harmonies. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the instrumental, except for this very, very last part. I would be impressed if no one said anything to me, but I'd be impressed if someone caught this at the very end. You gotta be listening very carefully. I'll just let it play through. I couldn't even hear it because it's pretty low for me, but I think it said let's get started. I don't remember. I think that's what it says. Go back and listen to it. It's just kind of me saying let's get started with this album. Even though it's one of the last ones I wrote, it's just chronological. You know what I mean, right? So yeah, that is the first song. That is 20 on 20. Super fun song. I would say it's definitely top 5 as far as like favorite songs on this album for me. Emotional. I think it really sets the tone for what the album's going to be about. yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. Follow my Instagram, Zach Burns _ It's probably somewhere on the screen. I don't know. It's probably over here. It's over here. It's over here. It's over here. That's confusing. But yeah, make sure to connect with me. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love to talk to you about your mixes and songs you're working on. It would just be so cool. And like I said, if you want to see more of these types of videos, please let me know down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
Have time, and it's just a fantasy when